So today we're going to find the circumference of the circle, which is really the length of the circle or the perimeter of the circle. So this is our homework from yesterday. What's the circumference if we have the diameter? Now, a quick recap from our previous lesson is what is pi? This idea of pi. And you did this as an exercise. So pi is really the relationship of the length of the circle to the diameter. And so we calculated this yesterday by measuring that circle, which is the circumference, and we divided it with its diameter. Now, another way of writing this statement is like this: C divided by D, or how many times the diameter goes around the circle, which is really this, is called pi. Now, what's the opposite of this question, this statement? The opposite is you just basically say pi times D is C. Yeah, you could also say that. Pi times the diameter is equal to C. See, they are opposites. Let me write that properly. Circumference is pi d. And that's the formula. Now, in our first question here, what is the diameter? So we know pi is 3.14 times the diameter of 13 centimeters. So we can do it by hand, but you've done that for the last 6-7 years of your life, so we're going to use a calculator. 3.14, which is the value of pi, times 13, and the length of the circle. The length of the circle is 40.82 centimeters. Now, what was the second question? Similar. So you got a circle. This is measured differently. You got a circle that has a diameter of 27 inches. It's quite straightforward. It's the same thing. You write the formula for the circumference based on our observations and our lesson yesterday. So we have pi d. What is pi? Is 3.14. What is the diameter? 27 inches. You multiply the value of 3.14 times 27. So we have 3.14 times 27, and you'll get the length of the circle, which is 84.78 inches. Now, the last question is quite straightforward, but it will be good to still do them. So the last question that I gave you from yesterday is, what is the length of the circle, or what's the perimeter of the circle, otherwise known as the circumference, if you have a radius of 3 mm. Yeah, that's your radius. Well, so we got the formula again. C equals pi d. Now, how many radiuses are there? What's the diameter of the circle? It's just another radius in here, right? Which is also 3. So the diameter is essentially 3. The diameter is essentially 6 mm, which you could use to solve this question still. Pi times, well, let's just do the value. 3.14 times 6 mm. Yes, 3.14 times 6 mm will be 18.84 millimeter. You see, that's one way of doing it. The other way of doing this is to use the radius. Okay, so here is 2 pi d. See, instead of using the diameter, you could also use time times how many? What's a diameter is really just 2 radius. Yes. So it's basically r plus r, or pi is times 2r. And that's why it could, we can just put this outside. Yeah, it's the same, 2 pi r. This is another formula of the circumference. Let's try out this one. So 2 times 3.14 times, what's the radius? Is 3. Let's work that one out. 2 times 3.14 equals 6.28 times the radius, which is 3. And your answer is the same, 18.84 mm. See, you have the same answer. So that's basically what we've done. Of course, we always end our lesson with a homework, but for you to practice. So, homework. If you have a circle with a radius, of 7 mm, yeah, what is the circumference? Find the perimeter of the circle, which is the circumference. Find circumference. Circumference. There you go. And the other question would be, if you have a circle with a diameter of 56 centimeters, now that's very big. Yeah, this is 56. What is the circumference? So those are 2 questions. I hope that's enlightening. Next time, next session, we're still going to play with this relationship of the circumference, diameter, and the radius. So we'll get more practice. See you in the next lesson.